All right, day 5 on the Continental Divide Trail, and as you can see, it looks like I'm inside because I am. I was not planning on getting a hotel room. When I got to Lordsburg, I was going to get my resupply and keep on hiking through. However, that changed because my feet needed a break. I needed to figure out the weight in my pack, not just food weight, but gear weight, and remove some gear. And I need to also get the balance of my pack figured out because my left foot's still in a bit of a bother. My right foot's doing okay, but we'll see what happens over the next few days. So I'm in Lordsburg and I have a shower, so my hair looks somewhat clean, and I don't I don't have sunscreen on my face and dirt everywhere, and there aren't flies flying around because I smell. So even though it was unexpected, it definitely was or is a nice break. I'm also not wearing my used to be white but is now off-white hiking shirt. So I'm sure after the last video on day 4, some people who watched the videos likely were thinking, oh man, this guy's taking videos that look like the original Blair Witch trial with like darkness and a little bit of light on his face. The guy's talking about his dead dog hiking with him on the trail. He's talking about Sasquatch or sesamoids or sesame seeds. I have no idea what he's talking about on his foot. And he's gonna have to step off the trail in a day or whatever. So there's a lot of stuff in that in that video. Just as a comparison, today I was on trail for 6.5 hours. And that was including a pretty brief water stop to pick up just a couple liters of water. And in that 6.5 hours, I was able to cover approximately 16 miles. So if you remember in the previous video, day 4, I hiked, like, I think it actually calculated out to be about 18 miles, and it took me 11 hours to do it. So that's why there was, I think, a little bit of frustration in my voice and also just a wariness because you can tell the difference. When you're hiking 2 to 2.5 miles an hour and your body feels good and your pack is balanced and the weight is low, then you can get good mileage in a short period of time and you can let your body rest for the evening. That definitely didn't happen in day 4. So that, I think that math comparison may help some folks. The other folks that don't like math, then sorry. Impressions of the first 85 miles. It is flat. I think we're about to start climbing up in elevation because we are hiking on the Continental Divide. But the first 85 miles, which took me about 5-ish days, it was flat, it was hot, and what's very interesting is the wind would pick up, especially in the afternoons, which felt nice because it would cool it felt like the temperatures were cooled down. But the winds would stay with us when we got into camp, and they would continue in the night, and then suddenly at, I don't know, 2 in the morning maybe, the winds would drop off. And when you're setting your alarm for 5:30 to get up and start hiking, having essentially only 2.5 hours of solid sleep because you're not getting woken up by the wind hitting your tent, it starts wearing on you. And I think that contributed to my low energy day when I didn't get as much mileage. I also believe that many people will do what's known as cowboy camping, where they won't put up a tent and they'll just put a sleeping pad down and they'll camp because they don't want to worry about the fabric hitting and keeping them up. And I don't like to do that, especially in the desert where there's scorpions and tarantulas and rattlesnakes, and I think I'm forgetting 1 or 2 creatures. The Gila monster, Gila lizard, I think is another one. So I've been putting my tent up, and the windy conditions, I think, kind of just impacted my sleep, unfortunately. Let's see, any other takeaways for the first few days? very nice people on the trail, and some of them you can tell they definitely trained and were ready to go from day one. I met two people that were already clicking out, I think, 25-mile days from day one. And that makes a huge difference. If you can hike 25 miles a day from day one, that means you can get from the border to Lordsburg in just under, just over 3 days. So you'll get within like 10 miles of the city within the first 3 days, and then you'll just have a short morning to get into the city, pick up your resupply, and keep on going. So I am okay. I was not hallucinating. I definitely felt Bo's presence hiking with me and making sure that I was getting my mileage for the day, or at least the mileage I needed to get for the day, and I appreciated that. The sesamoid, I think it was a day 4 video, I put a link to what a sesamoid is. There's 2 bones in the bottom of your foot that help, I believe it's ligaments that come from all the way from your calf to your big toe, and the sesamoids act as, I don't know if it's pulleys or guides for those ligaments, but you can actually break those 2 bones. And if you break one of them, you have to have surgery, but the bones are so small you can't put screws in them. So the surgery is basically, I believe, just to remove the bone to get it out of the way. This other sesamoid, because again, there are 2 of them side by side, you can either have surgery and again remove it, or you can be in an immobilization boot for a few months, see if it heals on its own, and then if it does, you don't need surgery. If it doesn't, then you need surgery. The one that needs surgery right away, if you break that bone, it's a concern because I believe it impacts the function of like your foot and your big toe. I fortunately did not break the one that needed surgery right away. I was put into a boot, which for a person like myself who walks in barefoot shoes and runs in barefoot shoes, like when I broke it, it was around the time when I was running half marathons in barefoot shoes, and I continued running in barefoot shoes after I broke it. But taking someone who has that much flexibility and strength in their foot and putting them into a boot for 3 months is kind of like a trauma on its own. So since I broke it, which I want to say that was 2015, and I was in the boot for 3 months and then like 9 months of rehab. So like I've struggled just kind of making sure that I'm stretching and maintaining the flexibility in my calves and into my foot. And I think just the extra, or the heavy pack with the extra weight in it, plus the mileage and just not training sufficiently, I think has contributed to some pain. So tomorrow what I'm going to do is known as a Nero instead of a 0 day. So on the trail, a 0 day is a rest day. You don't hike any miles, excuse me. A Nero is where you hike just a few miles. So it's near a 0 or nearly a 0. So that's another term. So tomorrow I'll probably, check out of the hotel kind of late morning, get a good night's sleep, and then hike, 5, 6, 7 miles. That's it. And just keep the mileage low and see if that helps my my right foot kind of settle down and I won't have to step off the trail. So since I'm in town, you got a little bit of a longer video for anybody who's watching. Thank you for those who are watching. I hope everyone's doing well. And I, after video 4, if you were concerned, I'm okay. I do know that I am purposely picking so I'm using the auto generate for the thumbnails that go with the video. I'm purposely picking the worst of the 3 because I think it's hilarious that the auto generate thinks those are great photos. So they're giving me 3, all of them are garbage, but I'm picking the worst of the 3 because I think it's hilarious that I have like a hand in front of my face, or the lighting is bad, or I got like a fly on my forehead. So I do know that I am picking the worst. and I'm doing that purposefully. I hope you folks are getting a kick out of it, because I certainly am. If you use Google, that auto generate for the thumbnails is absolutely hilarious. I don't think they have a lot to choose from because I'm just looking down barrel at the camera, but it's still amusing to me. All right, that's enough jibber jabber. I hope again everyone's well. And today's call out is going to my brother Kyle. It's his birthday. I was able to get into town and send him a text, wish him happy birthday. So shout out to you, Kyle. You're an old man. So am I. So it's cool. All right. Talk to everyone later.